Welcome to the Danny. Oh,
Oh, good. Welcome to the Danny and Paul show. I'm Danny.
and I'm Paul.
So glad to be here with you this week, my friend.
Good to be back with you, or I'm somewhere, I should say. It's been a high speed couple of days, so
Yeah. Well, let's chat about that. I thought today on the Danny and Paul show that we would talk about a few things that are going on in our own lives, a few world events, and then, of course, some coaches' corner, if that works for you, Paul.
I'm in. I'm all in.
All
I'm
right.
always
All right.
so.
Great. Um, well, first, what's really top of mind for me is the fires going on in Hawaii. My stepdad, my mother's husband, is from Hawaii, and his son owns a business there, and he's lost a few of his employees, one through death, a few others are missing. Um, and it just breaks my heart with what is going on over there, not not only for the poor, people, this devastating thing happening to them, but also the some of the people that are just trying to prey on other people's pain, um, instead of helping. So I've seen and I've heard that there are people calling these Hawaiians who have lost their homes, lost their lives almost, and are asking to buy their property. Yeah,
I did not know that. That is like
yeah,
beyond low. Wow.
right. I mean, there is like capitalism, and then there's just evil. And I do not think capitalism is evil, just so you know. I just want to. Capitalism is great.
I hope we're not going to get on both sides of that issue. That's horrible. Wow, I'm almost speechless, which doesn't often. That's predatory in nature, and it's pretty disgusting. Uh, what, can you give me some more context on it because I wasn't aware of it? How are you coming to this information, and what's the situation wrapped around it? How are they approaching? Did you get any information?
I mean, I did not dig into a bunch of information there. It would that I had heard that there are calls that have been made to people who are currently in need and offering to buy their properties instead of, how can I help you? And that's more of where I want to go. It's like, how can we help these people in need? These are our brothers and sisters. These are, they're across the pond there just a little bit, but um, you know, when we have brothers and sisters in need, how can we help them? And reaching out to give them money for a home they just lost is not help, it does hurt. As of today, I heard that things are better in Hawaii. The firefighters have shared with my mother's husband that the fires are being contained, but still, there's been like over 90 lives lost,
Hmm.
many homes burnt to the ground. Um, and I continued to ask my mom, how can we get help to these people? And my mom was looking through her church. I saw a few different things on like Instagram, but you never know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, no, that's for
And that
sure.
I yeah, and that's where I wanted to like just bring up and bring out into the universe of what can we do in situations like this to truly show heart and empathy and love and put out there what is needed.
Well, I mean, I'm not too deep into what's going on in Hawaii besides knowing about the fires and the devastation. We were out in Hawaii, I think last year, out in Maui. So I still have firm memory of kind of what it looked like before and what it looked like now. Um, we've got organizations that are set up all around the country that have been tried and true legal organizations that flow supplies to devastated areas, and using those to fund your money to help
Mhm. Mhm.
is really the best way, because you have to think about, like,
I was
what would
talking
I
about like the
need?
Red Cross.
Red
Is that what you're talking?
Cross, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because the first thing in a disaster is, it's not recovery, it's survival, right? The day after you get out of a fire, the next question is, do I have water? Do I have food? Do I have a roof over my head? Do I have a place to stay so I can get organized around what I have to do next? And the Midwest is very heavy in tornadoes. There's always a couple of towns every year in tornadoes, and that first step is always shelter, food, and water, right? So, and they're still in that first step. I mean, the fires are still going. It's not like they're out. They're trying
Right.
to find places to put people. Um, so finding the organizations, like there's another organization, I think it's called Rubicon, that
Hmm.
runs around the country and hits those hot spots. And I'm not sure if they're, Hawaii's very remote, right? It's its own place, 5 hours from Florida by air, or from
Hmm.
California by air.
Hmm.
And so not easy to get to. I mean, major amounts of supplies need to be flown in, and then ferried over. Flown. I don't know if the airport on Maui is impacted at this point, but you got to get those supplies, and then the next step after they get the fire out is federal assistance coming in and building temporary shelters and
Hmm.
getting everyone housed, and then starts cleanup, right? Because you can't rebuild that land until cleanup. But this reminds me of the latest hurricane in Florida, where there was devastation. Everybody's trying to get out, and then all of a sudden, gas prices were $15 at certain gas
Yeah.
stations. Is a predatory. But there are laws against that, and the legislature should be looking at that and working with law enforcement to keep that kind of activity down. That's terrible, and it's surprising to me that there's even cell service on the island, because the cell towers have all been destroyed
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
on the island. So that's really sad. But I think going with some of the religious foundations around the area, legitimate religious foundations that filter. What one of the keys is when you donate your money, actually knowing what it's going to do and where it's going to go.
Exactly.
And they,
Yeah.
they should really, um, the organization that you're donating to should have a synopsis of exactly what that money is going to do, where it's going to go, what's that 501. It's a 501(c)(3) if they're doing any of that. So they need
Right.
to have a charter. What does that charter look like? They should be able to provide you a website that shows their charter, that shows what they're doing. The worst thing you can do is just donate to anybody, and throw your money at anybody and not know where it's going to go, because you're just possibly donating to a criminal organization.
Right. So
I think
my
that's
my my yeah, my ask is that people do donate to the right organizations, to do a little bit of your research, to make sure it is going to the people of Hawaii who are who've been just decimated by this fire. And again, there's the personal relationship of, I guess, what would he be, my step brother, um, having lost an employee, the employee's life, he's gone, and then other employees still missing. So I just, that's my ask today, is if you all, just show some heart and give to those in need.
So, Danny, just a quick question. Do you have any place that you want to point them at to go donate?
That's why I was reaching out to my mom. I wish that I had that by now, but I didn't. I
Yeah.
don't. So,
I do know that the American Red Cross is taking donations specifically
Mhm.
for Maui, and that's probably a very good place to go.
Yes, yeah,
At least a good portion of money that's put to that will go to what it's there for. It's a tried and true place
hmm,
to provide support. And that support really does go to kind of the first stage, right? The
right,
the survival portion. So that's
right,
yeah, but
right.
very sad situation. I did watch I think it was Jason Momoa who was putting out pleas for people not to come to Maui because
Hmm, hmm.
that's the other thing is this is a term I don't understand, disaster tourism. It's like people want to go and see the devastation, and not realizing, or hopefully not realizing, that there are real people that are being horribly
Right.
impacted by these type of situations. So
Yeah, we need more empathy in this world.
absolutely.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, switching to something a little bit lighter there. And again, thank you to everybody who reaches out and does help those others in need. I appreciate you. We need more of you. All right, you yourself, you this week, you're
Mm.
becoming an empty nester, right?
I'm becoming an empty nester. I am knee deep in the Ohio State. And my daughter is starting school here this year. And so I'm down here moving her in with the rest of the 60,000 Ohio State students all piled in here in the next 2 days to get their butts moved into their dormitories and get classes started on Tuesday. So we've been in the flutter. I mean, it's equivalent to salmon running upstream. It's like you could walk on the water here with students. It's kind of an amazing thing. But I gotta say, um, they've got this down to an organized T. I mean,
Mhm.
you've got like 2 hours to move into your dorm, and you got to be out. And they have people waiting for you to come in to point you in the right direction. They've got carts for luggage. They've got for furniture. They've got all that stuff, and it's like this high speed um, cattle trough with
Yeah,
furniture.
right.
It's pretty impressive that they can get that many students in here. Um, so it's been an interesting couple of days, a very emotional couple of days. You know,
Yeah.
uh, on one side, I'm extremely excited for my daughter because she's about to begin a new life and start
Hmm.
to tee off on all the things that I didn't think she was listening to, but I apparently found out she was, and
Oh,
and very excited for her to move forward. But I think we're gonna miss her because she's really a fun kid. So that's gonna be
yeah.
kind of sad when we go home on Sunday, but we're really kind of enjoying it right now. And my wife is at the dorm with all the other families.
Hmm.
We kind of all cut. We had an interesting situation because we didn't actually end up in the dorms, and I don't know how this happened, but as a freshman, she is in graduate housing, so she's in an apartment with four other girls. They have a full kitchen, full living room, two
Nice.
bedroom apartment, right in the heart of the places in Columbus. It's just like
Good.
well, no, I
That's
think she's kind of spoiled. So it's like this is not dormitory living. So next year, when she's either goes into a sorority or gets into the dorms, it's going to be like 20 steps down from where she's living at now. So I don't know. It's going to be a whole thing. But this year they are really spoiled rotten. They've got
Yeah.
probably about 1,200 square foot apartment.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
that's
like
it. I
that's
remember
not
my
dorm living.
my no, my when my ex-husband was at Stanford, I was in San Diego, he was up at Stanford, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just come visit you." And we stayed in the dorm and I was like, "Oh, hell no." Like, come back to our house in San Diego. I'm like, well, I don't know why. No, it was no, thank you. Um, and then on the opposite side, I was at a 25-year reunion at Harvard, not mine. And there were students moving in and students moving out. And like you said, it was just this seamless, well, not seamless, but just this process of chaos, but it was organized chaos. And I was just like, whoa, people coming in, people going out, all of it. And you could feel the energy, right?
Oh yeah,
The
no.
kids moving out, excited to be graduated. The kids like a little nervous, but excited to be moving in. It's exciting time for sure.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
It goes to everything else. You just got to commit and get it done, and that's what my daughter has done. She's kind of committed and got it done. She's going to school a year old, 17 years old. She's like firing away on all cylinders and just dying to get there. So I'm excited to see what the next 4 years
That's
have to
good.
bring.
Well, she has two amazing fire on all cylinder parents who are game changers, impact makers, and just phenomenal people. So it doesn't surprise me.
I appreciate that, but yes, it's all her though. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, Paul, tell me a dad joke.
A dad joke? I don't have any dad jokes. Oh my god!
What?
I don't. I'm not. I'm not a. Yeah. I'm like. I tell really bad jokes.
Well, that is what a dad joke is.
Not made for TV jokes.
Oh, I see. Well, like there's
You got
one.
any?
I love silly jokes. They just make me laugh, and I have a very loud cackle, as you know. So one of my favorites is, what did the fish say when he hit the wall?
I don't know.
Damn.
Okay, that is a dad joke.
Let's see. I did pull up a just in case. So, what do you call fake spaghetti?
I don't know.
An impasta.
Oh wow, imposter syndrome.
Yeah. All right, I was just trying to lighten the mood, just a bit to keep it going. And so, based on imposter syndrome, let's talk about coach's corner.
Coach's corner.
Yeah, was there anything that really stood out for you in this past week? We had major technical issues last week, y'all, so we're sorry we missed that show. We put out the 2 minutes that was taped. That was it, and then poof, gone. So over the past couple weeks, what's something that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I put that out to the solar flares and the earthquakes in the new volcano in Alaska. All that went wrong all in the same, pretty close to the same day.
It was crazy.
It was nuts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things I ran across this week was really some marketing stuff with some clients who are really kind of I won't say missing the boat. I'll say that they're overthinking their sales funnel, and they're trying to. So I guess I'll get this into web pages versus landing pages, because I kind of really want to talk about that a little bit, because a lot of them we've had some coaching sessions, and I've been talking about landing pages to them, and I'm like, you need to have a sales funnel, and we talk about conversions and all of that, and then they showed me the next week a web page. So,
and when you say web page, you mean website versus landing page, right?
A website versus a landing page. Yeah, absolutely. And it's confusing because, I mean, not that we're the old generation, but we grew up with websites. I mean, I was around
Yes.
before the
Well,
websites were around, so I don't even know how to call that out. But I'll just go here with it. Um,
yeah.
the the old thought process was you had a brick and mortar store, and then you
Mm-hmm.
had a digital store. The digital store was,
Mm-hmm.
of course, your site. And in the website, you kind of make like your brick and mortar store. You had lots of options, lots of things to do. You can click on all these menu items, and you go through the website and find what you want. And at the end of the day, people just got confused and went somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. A
It's not what the
confused
store
mind does not buy.
does not buy, right? So a landing page has a singular function to it, and they can only buy one thing or download one thing. And the whole idea of the landing page is to do a couple of things depending on what your goal with it is. But if your goal is to email name to market to, then the landing page needs to be designed to convert them, and the converting is converting them from landing on that page into gaining their email and name by a download, by some kind of free offer, by some kind of thing, and that gets you net your goal, which is their email and name. Some landing pages may sell a product, so the conversion in that landing page may be to click buy. A call to action button that says click buy. By the way, the other one has a call to action button that is fill this out and get this free download, or watch this free video,
Free
or
strategy session
whatever
or
free
whatever. Yeah.
strategy session, whatever. Or it may be well, that would be the third to me, is the free strategy session. We want to convert them through the web page. We've given them enough information. We've hit their hotspots. We've made them want to see more, and they fill out their name and email to get a free strategy session. So two things: either to sell something or to capture information to allow you to market them. The
Right.
web page does not allow the website does not allow you to do that. They have to go searching to fill out. They have to see all your products and all the stuff that you offer and all of that. One of the first things that I always talk about with clients, you've heard me say this a million times at least, is what is the problem you solve? Who do you solve it for? Those are the two main operations of a landing page: is your call out and the problem that you solve, so that you can get to the solution and convert to one of those outcomes. So it is confusing, but it's the difference between having a grocery store
Mm-hmm.
and selling lemonade on the corner.
Right.
Everybody who stops on the corner wants to buy lemonade.
That's right. Yep.
The person who goes in the grocery store is trying to figure out what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's my big thing for Coach's Corner today, is really the difference between a landing page, and the leveraging of a sales funnel.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. But I come from old school website as well. And now landing pages, it just makes so much more sense. And then also, like, if somebody comes to my landing page and they're not looking for sales coaching, they're looking for, well, good. I'm not looking for people who want lemonade. So it's also like it has multiple purposes: to attract, and also to repel, but not in a bad way, repel those that it doesn't make sense, right? So yeah, landing pages, I mean, it's a simple, like, it's something simple to do. There's the flip side to it of, like, I have so many URLs, and I know you and I had that discussion. You're like, Dani, for our group coaching, we do not need a separate URL. I will just put it on my website, on my site, a landing page, on my landing page. I was
We
like,
build
oh,
it in the landing page. Yep.
yeah. So, yeah, I love that. So you said that they came back. You told them to do a landing page, then they came back, did they actually build a website, or did they end up with a successful
They added another
funnel?
page to their website with all of the menu items and all of that. There wasn't really a good call out. There wasn't a good call to action. There was no place for people to fill out the things we wanted to capture, which was the name and the email address.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it brought in, and there was a good amount of confusion over it that we had to get through. And I realized at that point, it's one of two things is going on. I'm not explaining it well, or I'm just not one way or the other. It wasn't getting received well, so I took it upon myself to reposition it in a different way. And next week they'll come back with landing pages, which is great because we just did this for another client, and they went up like 300% in 30 days. And it's just we added some step sales funnel and put their website into 4 different landing pages, so that we could specifically target, because it was really a different client for each landing page. And if you went to the website, and this is the other thing, and I think this is important. In a website, you have to figure out which customer you are. How's that? Okay.
Yeah.
And a landing page, you know what customer you are, and or what prospect you are. You know what you're looking for. So it came through very well, and that company is enjoying some significant gains in its revenue because they still have the original website, but now we have 4 different sales funnels, and we're targeting with our ads very specific people, the who you solve it for, what the problem is, because they solve 4 different problems. So if you're solving 4 different problems, then you need to have 4 different sales funnels, because not everyone who comes to your website
is going to have all 4 problems.
Not only that, but they may not even know the problem that they have.
True. Very true.
So that's where landing pages are very powerful, is helping the customer define their problem.
Right. And I would share that if we're not saying to get rid of your website.
Oh,
we're
God,
just saying have landing pages. Yeah. Don't
augment
with your website.
Not pack, augment. Augment your marketing. Utilizing landing pages and building traffic sometimes to your website. So it depends. Depends on the outcomes. We always got to look at the outcomes. Not every pill fixes every problem. We have to have a specific pill for every problem, for specific problems. So,
gotcha.
How about you?
Gotcha. My coach's corner would be faith and continued resilience of mindset. I had two different clients. One in which she said, she finished this product that she wanted to finish, and then she told me she was over it, and I was like, "You just finished it. How could you be over it?" And I'm over it. And through me being able to pull out, because I really did have to pull this information out of her, it was, are you over it, or are you scared to market now because you don't see yourself as a sales and marketer? And through some tears, she realized that's what it was. She was like, yes, I am scared bleepless to start selling. And what if people don't like it? I'm like, but what if people love it? So we got to work on a mindset shift. I kind of have this 5-step process that I go through that really helps to reframe. And so we'll see what she comes back with in what we're meeting again next week. Then I have a second one who has done this amazing, it's a beautiful Italian tennis shoe that has this amazing story attached to it about moving forward. She calls it Forward, FWD, and that, just keep moving forward. And I was chatting with her, and she said she wasn't. I said, "What's your next step? Like, you have a few clients, you have this amazing story. What are you going to do next?" And she was like, I don't know. I feel that I've like tapped out my current circle, and maybe my shoes are too expensive. It's like, okay, whoa, one, price is made up. So, and then I sent her some shoes that like I've purchased in the past that were much more expensive than the shoes that she has. And I love her shoes. Like, I love her shoes. And then we started working on a marketing plan. And I shared with her times your closest circle, inner circle, family, whatever, aren't your buyers. You think they should be because you're like, oh, come on now. At least I know I do. But they usually aren't. And it is about finding the people that do want what you have to offer. And eventually that inner circle will be like, I was behind you the whole time. I just wanted to make sure. Right. so anyway, so her I offered to her to go live on Saturday to do an unveiling of her shoes, so that I'm going to do an interview with her so that she can just share her story, start to get her story out, because sometimes people need a hand up. And so I wanted to just offer that up to her because I love her story. I love her shoes. I love what she's doing. And, that ties in completely with my empowerment coaching, which is teaching women how to sell so that they can have the life of freedom, a life that they love. So that's
Awesome.
kind of my main things for this week that were very heart filling, which is why I love my job.
Very
Fills my cup.
cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's a good wrap up.
Okay.
So
Well,
next
you
week,
enjoy time with your daughter.
I
Have
will.
fun.
I will. And
And see you next week.
next week. All right.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.